It really hurts me that the people of God don't even know who they are. The black people don't know who they are in Alamance County because they won't let it be told. I live in a racist county. They do not want the truth out here. They like you saying, thank you, Joint European Slave Union ship. Hallelujah. Thank you, Joint European Slave Union ship. Thank you, Joint European Slave Union ship, for saving me. Saving me. Lord have mercy. Pitiful.
Jesus is a slave ship. You know how they say the truth hurts? This is about to hurt. I'm only using this picture as a reference because I know a lot of people probably won't look this up later themselves, but pause and read. The whole image of Jesus Christ was created at a council meeting by Constantine, the Council of Nicaea. What they did was they took a whole bunch of different books and put them into one book and called it the Holy Bible. Then they legalized Christianity, and then they used that religion and the image of Jesus Christ to mentally enslave our people. They made books about it, how to make a into a Christian slavery. And since Google removed this image off the internet, I had to take a screenshot from my old cell phone. But you can buy the book for this. They even had a law that specifies black people who convert to Christianity will always remain slaves. And the sad part is, especially our elders will defend Jesus with their life. The only way through heaven is through Jesus. Jesus saves. Jesus saves. Saves who? Again, using this picture as a reference, but this is Jesus right here. This is the slave ship. Before you Christians try to jump down my throat about this, please answer one question. If this concept of Jesus Christ is the only way to heaven, why would they create books on how to force someone to be a Christian? Someone that they hated. I mean, they didn't love us, so why would they want to save us? Not to mention that there's literally a Christian church on every corner in a black neighborhood. If you believe in something, you're putting power into it. I've seen miracles. I've seen demons being cast out in the name of Jesus. That's witchcraft.
When you know better, you do better. When you find out Jesus stands for Joint European Slave Union ship, you don't say that name. You say Spirit. Because I thought Spirit all along, but I learned that Jesus stands for Joint European Slave Union ship, and they painted the Ascended Master white. We all are sons of God and daughters of God. But the way they write it, it's not correct. Not all of it. It's misleading. You know, in 325 AD, the Roman Catholics changed the Bible to the way they wanted it, so they can annihilate black people and make black people their slaves. Did you know that's why the church changed everything, so they can make black people subservient to them and put their white people on top of us? That's why they changed it. Because we are better than them. We are older than them, rather. That's what I should have said. We are older than them. Way older. White people ain't been here on the planet that long.
Joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
The Trump administration has, now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. Become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity. And, I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country. And they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out.
Why has Caucasian become synonymous with all white people? Well, buckle your seatbelts because things are about to get pretty racist. A century before Hitler's rise to power, there was another German man who believed white people were the perfect race, Christoph Meiners, who was one of the earliest adopters of scientific racism. Now hold on, because it's about to get really unscientific. Meiners believed that Caucasians, aka the actual people from that region between Russia and Turkey, had, quote, the whitest, most blooming, and most delicate skin. In fact, he viewed every non-Caucasian race as ugly, inferior, immoral, and animal-like. He also believed people from the Middle East and Asia had little intelligence and were predispositioned to be evil. Then German scientist Johann Blumenbach added to this emerging definition. Blumenbach believed that the Caucasus region was home to the most beautiful race of men, the people of Georgia. And what made the Georgian people so beautiful? Well, this creepy guy had a huge collection of human skulls. And of the 245, the Georgian skull was his favorite. Did I mention that he had a collection of 245 human skulls? So this weirdo, using no science at all, decided that all of humanity must have come from this region. Spoiler alert, we didn't. He also decided that all light-skinned people from Europe belong to the same race, Caucasian. Then he split the rest of the world into 4 other races, which he referred to as degenerate forms of God's original creation. Sounds like a fun guy. Those other races were Mongolian, the yellow race, Malayan, the brown race, Ethiopian, the black race, and American, the red race. Blumenbach's racial classifications went on to be adopted by the newly formed United States, because of course it did. It helped our founding fathers justify things like slavery and selective immigration quotas. But that was a long time ago, right? So why does the word Caucasian persist while other old-timey racial categories like Mongoloid and Negroid have disappeared? Well, there seems to be a few reasons that are a little intertwined. In America, there's a long legal history of the word. The Supreme Court has actually used Caucasian in 64 cases, including one from 1928 that is key. During the 1920s, only free whites, or Caucasians, were allowed to become naturalized citizens. In 1928, Bhagat Singh Thind, an Indian man who fought for the U.S. in World War I, tried to become a U.S. citizen by arguing that many anthropologists defined Indians as Caucasians. After a major legal battle, the Supreme Court decided that Caucasian really only meant white Europeans. This decision legally codified the modern American definition of Caucasian as whites with European ancestry. Why else? We don't exactly know for sure, but one reason I think Caucasian is likely stuck around is because of its power. Language is one of the most systematic, subtle, and significant vehicles for spreading racial ideology.
It's well known. It's a well-known issue that African Americans, black people in America, so-called, don't know their history, that they're cut off from the history of Africa, and even the history of everything that they did and everything that was done to them in America. That's why you have Black History Month, right?
Sir, I have tried to tell my people and others in Alamance County the real truth, but they don't accept it. They like the lie better.
Well-known issue that African Americans, black people in America, so-called, don't know their history, that they're cut off from the history of Africa, and even the history of everything that they did and everything that was done to them in America. That's why you have Black History Month, right? So this is something that everyone knows about. Everyone is aware of this issue. But the truth is that so-called white people don't know their history either. Their history in America or their history in Europe. Americans generally don't know history, which is incredibly useful when you consider the fact that history repeats itself. It's incredibly useful to keep the entire population in a state of amnesia, so that the whole country operates like the main character in that film Memento, you know? So you keep doing the same things that you've always done, and you never understand that you're actually doing the things that history has already judged to be crimes. You understand? You can do it as if there's no context, as if there's no history, as if there's no pattern. That's the whole point of approaching current events from an ahistorical perspective. You don't want anyone to see the pattern. You want to be able to do things that have already been condemned by history, but you want to keep doing them anyway, as if you don't know that they're contemptible. You don't know that they are condemned actions. Just like Donald Trump now invoking the Alien Enemies Act in reference to mass deportations and so on. Okay, this is the same act that put tens of thousands of Japanese Americans into internment camps in World War II and for which the United States government eventually had to provide compensation and eventually had to even apologize for doing it. You see, it is something completely contemptible that you did, but you want to repeat it. So you forget your history. You forget history so you can repeat history without blame. Both so-called white people and so-called black people in America don't know their history. Both have been told lies about the past, about their respective pasts. And the only reason for that is for the purpose of maintaining the continuity of the contemptible reality of how that society operates. Amnesia and fictional histories serve as a preventative measure against change, against reform, against rehabilitation. America chooses to live like it's in the movie Groundhog Day. You know, you pretend that only today exists over and over and over again. And because of this forced amnesia, because of this deliberate suppression of historical awareness, the people in America don't even recognize when they're reliving their own past. They think that they're facing something new. They think that they're responding to some unprecedented crisis every time. If you have no recollection where the road leads that you're on, then you'll keep walking it again and again, never realizing that it has already led you into disaster after disaster, dozens of times before. And this is exactly the condition that the rulers in America want, that the elite of America want, not just for black people, not just for so-called white people, but for everyone. Because the most effective way to ensure that a crime continues is to make sure that it is never recognized as a crime. To make sure that every time you commit that crime, it feels like the first time. You know? So when Trump talks about invoking the Alien Enemies Act, most Americans don't hear the echoes of history from that. They don't hear the voices of the Japanese Americans who were dragged from their homes and put behind barbed wire for years and years. They don't remember that that country had to apologize for doing exactly what they're about to do again. The American mind resets every morning, and that's the perfect condition for those in power. Because if people really understood history, then they would recognize that nothing about the American system is accidental. Every aspect of it, from its racial hierarchies to its economic disparities to its unjust foreign policies, is simply the continuation of an old script, a script that has played out again and again, always leading to oppression, always leading to exploitation, always leading to war, always leading to misery. And this is why in America history isn't taught. Fiction is taught, legends are taught, myths are taught, but not history. Because real history would be dangerous. Real history would break the illusion and potentially break the cycle. So-called white people in America know a version of history. They know a story. They know a narrative that has been carefully crafted to shape how they see themselves, how they see their ancestors, how they see their nations and their place in the world, and how they see everyone else. And this ignorance, this deliberate miseducation that they have imposed upon their own people allows the same crimes to continue. What most white people in America and Europe believe about their history is not history at all. It's mythology designed to produce a specific kind of person, a person who does not feel guilty, a person who does not feel accountable, a person who does not feel responsible for ever changing anything because they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They're taught that their ancestors were pioneers, their ancestors were explorers and builders of civilization, that they've brought progress and democracy and enlightenment to the world. They hear about the Renaissance, they hear about the Industrial Revolution, they hear about the Age of Discovery, and so forth and so on. And not about enslavement, not about genocide, not about the theft, not about the destruction that their people are responsible for. They're not taught that their prosperity was built on unimaginable suffering. They're not taught that their systems of government, their financial empires, their very sense of national identity are all rooted in exploitation. They don't know about the crimes. They don't know the real legacy of their people. And so they don't change. They don't have to change because they don't even realize what they need to correct. You know, when we look at colonialism, for example, the history that's taught in Western schools is usually an abstraction. Colonization is framed as something that it just sort of happened. a long time ago, something that was maybe unfortunate, but it was inevitable, and it ultimately it represented progress, and there were many beneficial things to come from it. Never mind the millions of Africans who died in the Congo Free State under King Leopold. Most white Americans have never heard of them. Never mind the Bengal famine of 1943, when millions of Indians starved to death due to British policies. They don't even know about it. The fact that the American police forces evolved from slave patrols, they don't know about that either. And they're not any more informed about the ongoing crimes, like the pillage of African resources today, the economic neocolonialism that keeps entire regions of the world impoverished, the exploitation of labor in the global south. These aren't relics of history. That's the present day reality of what your people are doing. But the story that white people are told does not include those realities, or else it packages those realities deceitfully and dishonestly. They package them dishonestly and deceitfully in the past just like they do now. The irony is that when they're confronted with the truth, many of these people will react defensively. I didn't do that. That was in the past. Why should I feel guilty? I feel guilty. But this reaction in and of itself reveals how little they're really understanding. It's not about guilt. It's about responsibility. The irony is that when they're confronted with the truth, many of these people will react defensively. I didn't do that. That was in the past. Why should I feel guilty? But this reaction in and of itself reveals how little they're really understanding. It's not about guilt. It's about responsibility. If a person inherits a stolen house, they may not have stolen it themselves, but they still live in it. And if they refuse to acknowledge where that house came from or how it came into their possession, if they insist that that house is rightfully theirs because the crime happened a long time ago, well, then they're complicit, because the theft is ongoing. The crime never really stopped. So when people don't know their history, they cannot recognize when history is repeating itself and when history is actually just a continuum into the present. This is why so-called white people in America can watch their government arm and support genocide in Gaza, bomb Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and so on, and actually believe when they say it's for the purpose of security. They don't see the colonial mindset at work. That's why they can see corporations, for example, Western corporations, strip mine Africa for resources and not connect that to the centuries of plunder that came before.
When the Portuguese started coming into Africa, they wanted to trade in gold and spices.
Not rumors. These are real images, real people. And the reactions? Utter disbelief, nationwide confusion, spiritual awakening. Luke chapter 21 verse 25 warns, "There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and on the earth distress of nations." Are we witnessing the fulfillment of these words? Or is this all just weather gone wild? On the night of June 13th, something remarkable happened in the skies over Houston, Texas. Dozens of residents looked up and saw what appeared to be a glowing, angel-like figure suspended in the clouds. Videos quickly began circulating online, different angles, different cameras, different people, all capturing the same mysterious sight. Eyewitness footage shows a radiant form with distinctly wide wings, a defined torso, and a bright, luminous glow. The figure wasn't vague or shapeless like a random cloud. It was detailed, symmetrical, and seemingly suspended in stillness above the city. Some compared it to a classical depiction of a guardian angel. One observer said, "You could even see where the wings split into feathers. It was too perfect to be random." Some saw it as a comforting sign, others as a fearful one. A Houston man shared, "It didn't feel like a coincidence. Something spiritual was happening." And then the flood came. Just hours after the angelic figure was seen, one of the worst floods in Houston's history swept through the region. Entire neighborhoods were submerged. Families were trapped. Sirens echoed through the streets. Could this angel have been more than a spectacle? Could it have been a divine warning? A message from heaven? There will be great earthquakes, and in various places famines and pestilences. And there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven. It may be one of those great signs written long ago. So, what are we really witnessing? Before you decide, keep watching, because what happened next in America will shake you even more. The signs didn't stop with Texas. In fact, they only got stranger. Less than 24 hours after the angelic figure appeared over Houston, Disaster struck. On June 14th, the city was overwhelmed by what residents are calling one of the worst floods in memory. Streets became rivers. Homes vanished beneath rising waters. Entire neighborhoods were swallowed up in a matter of hours. Emergency services were pushed beyond their limits. First responders rushed through chest-deep water, trying to reach stranded families. Helicopters hovered overhead while boats navigated suburban streets. Power lines fell, bridges collapsed, and what began as a typical summer storm transformed into a catastrophic flood that paralyzed the fourth largest city in America. Footage quickly surfaced online, parents holding their children above their heads, families waving from rooftops, elderly residents trapped in floating cars. One man, soaked to the bone, looked into the camera and said, "It looked like a scene from Noah's flood. I've never seen anything like this in my life."
Put your time in, payday is coming after a while. Put your time in.